We have made it to level 16. Let's get this done. Zen Archer for Tamari. She's going to take Wisdom at 16 and Wisdom again at 20. We are on Perception, Stealth, Trickery, Athletics for this level. Key Power. This spell resistance looks like it has not interfered with our own friendly buffs on Lann. So, might as well take this. This is a newly available key power. Standard action that costs 4 key points. Fort save. Not really interested in it. Seelah. She gets another use of her Smite Evil. Her armor limits her to maximum dexterity bonus of 3. Plus, we also have Cat's Grace active, so putting more into dex really isn't useful. Maybe if we end up taking combat reflexes, then give her another AOO, but I'm not too worried about it. This would increase her will save, which is already pretty good. I'm going to take Charisma at 16 and Charisma again at 20. That gives her an extra use of Lay on Hands, which doesn't really get used all that often. It increases the spell save DC. That's almost irrelevant. It'll give her 1 extra spell slot eventually. And this helps all of her saves by 1. So rather than just increasing will by 1, this would increase her will, fort, and reflex by 1. Eventually. At level 20 it will. We are done. Lann. No idea what I'm going to take as a key power for Lann. Zen Archer. Alright, so do we want the immediate benefit and then practically no benefit later on, or do I play long term and just go Wisdom twice? So doing Strength now would make each arrow do 1 more damage, or even more than that on a crit, which tends to happen a lot. And he gets lots of arrows, so I think putting a point into Strength is definitely worthwhile, but I think putting 2 points into Wisdom outweighs that, just for the +1 to attack rolls. It'll also help his will save, which we've seen confused before. Not good. Increases his armor class, increases his perception, increases his religion. So I'm going Wisdom. Alright. I could make it symmetric with Tamari and just go Cold Ice Strike, which is, at least it's a swift action, so in theory it could be used. I mean, immunity to poison? I don't know, he is sickened right now, but I don't think that's from a poison. Ability to poison, Quivering Palm. Spit Venom, that's actually a pretty useful spell. I'm not going to use it as a key power, but it's blind, no save. All you have to do is hit. And then there's also a poison. That's save dependent, but yeah, I'll just do Cold Ice Strike, because at least it could be used. It won't, but it could. Ember. Ember is going Charisma and more Charisma. Arcana, Nature, Persuasion. And I'm going to take Regenerative Sinew, finally. This gives us some more ways of curing ability score damage. The fast healing, I guess, could be used if we just need to heal somebody up a little bit. Eighth level spell. Both Sosiel and Nenio can cast this, so I don't think she needs it. Death Clutch kind of is worthless if the target has more than 200 hit points. Powered Stun is worthless if it has more than 150 hit points. Rift of Ruin is good, but I don't work well with pit spells. And I think if it's flying, it's still immune, I think. Storm Bolts is a good area effect spell, but it's electricity, and she doesn't have a way to make it fire. So I think most of her 8th level slots are going to go for quicken spells and maximize spells and stuff like that. I'm going to take Mind Blank to help Lann avoid becoming confused. Done. Nenio. So I think it does make more sense to return back to Scroll Savant at this point in time. At 20th level, I would get a Wizard bonus feat. I can't think of a Meta Magic feat that I would want right now. She already has Persistent, doesn't she? Yeah, she does. So this would probably be some sort of spell focus or greater spell focus. And it wouldn't happen until 20th level. Which, getting a Meta Magic feat at 20th level is probably too late to get favored Meta Magic as a mythic ability. I don't know. I'm going to stick with Lore Master, even though I don't think that's the better move. I think going back to Wizard is better. And unfortunately, she doesn't really qualify for any other prestige classes. If you build Nenio differently, it might be a good idea to build towards Arcane Trickster, but I don't know of a way of getting that second sneak attack die without sacrificing a caster level. And I don't want to do that. So I wouldn't do that, but others could be interested in something like that. Let's go Lore Master. And I think sort of the deciding factor is these additional +1s on our lores. Like, we are not automatic on our knowledge worlds. So getting 3 more points on all our knowledges and lores, that's something. And here, I will definitely be taking Iron Will. Int, so she gets more skill points. Okay, that'll work. Spells. This has utility because you can cast basically any conjuration spell that is. I know this is Evocation. I'm going to take Evocation. Greater Shadow Evocation. And I think I'll take Greater Shout. I don't know if I'd be willing to spend a 9th level slot on it, but I can make this selective and then have an area effect with the possibility of stunning multiple things for a round. That could be useful. Sunburst could be useful, making things permanently blind, but I would again have to make that selective probably because it's a huge area. So I'm gonna take Critter Shout. Done. Finally, Sosiel. I don't think Sosiel has any decisions. No decisions of importance. Jumping ahead a little bit to bring you the level 16 power up for the 5 companions at the Nexus. Woljif with an Elder Scoundrel level. And this is a choice. You want to go Dex and then Dex again at 20, or Intelligence and Intelligence again at 20. I've been debating this. I think I'm going to go Dex. Basically, the 2 hits are important. And this also helps his armor class. Intelligence would give him some more skill points to work with eventually at level 20, but I don't think I really need any more. When Woljif is in the group, there's a chance he might be replacing Nenio and her awesome Knowledge Arcana. But I'm going to hope Ember can take care of Knowledge Arcana if that's the case. Or maybe I'll have Woljif in instead of Lann or something like that. I don't know. But I'm going to go Dexterity instead of Intelligence. Rogue talents. Blinding Strike is okay, but I don't like the fact that Fort negates. So it only happens when you crit on a sneak attack, and then it still gets a Fort save to avoid being blind. Combat tricks. He's not going to hit with offhand at -10, at least not yet. Hammer the Gap. It gets some extra damage. It could be worthwhile. Improved critical. I think the actual damage which would get multiplied is only like a D4 or D6 plus 9 or something like that. Piranha Strike, if he takes this, then he's going to start hitting much less. So there really aren't any combat tricks that I want to take right now. So Crippling Strike or Dispelling Attack. Could do improved evasion, but I think his reflex save is good enough that evasion is hopefully good enough. 100 Surprise is good, but it can only be used once per day. It's not that good. Opportunist, you get an AOO if somebody else hits in melee. That could be worthwhile. Improved Uncanny Dodge. I think there's an improved Uncanny Dodge option. That's good for defenses because you can no longer be flanked. Yeah, right here's improved Uncanny. I'm going to go with Crippling Strike. He gets a lot of attacks at his highest attack bonus, so if those hit and if they're dealing sneak attacks, then it's a pretty good debuff on the opponent. Not great, but it's definitely pretty good. He does not have spell penetration or greater spell penetration. So he's focusing on buffs. I'm going with Transformation, only round per level, and Trucing. Alright, hopefully I edited that out. I had to cough. Next up is Daeran. Strength doesn't help him. Intelligence would give him a few extra skill points and then force him into strength at level 20. Not a big deal. We're going to go Charisma and then Charisma again at 20. Arcana, World, Persuasion. Okay, so Daeran does have greater enduring. And we gotta keep in mind that he's probably replacing Sosiel. But he's also a spontaneous caster. Now he gets mass heal as an 8th level spell. So most of the time, I think his 8th level slots are going to be on mass heal. Could use one for a greater angelic aspect. That's also available to Seelah, apparently. Frightful aspect, but Nenio will handle that. I'm going to go with Storm Bolts. It's a pretty good area of effect. Chance of stunning. He doesn't have Ascendant Element Electricity, but I can still take that for him eventually. Let's go ahead and take Storm Bolts. Most of these spell slots are probably going to go to Mass Heal anyway, so done. Regill. Fighter. Let's go ahead and do Dex and then Wisdom at 20, because he is a Dexterity on his attack rolls, although if I put Legendary Proportions on him, then I think it'll switch over to Strength. I'm not exactly 100% sure how it'll work. It might be better to go Strength and then Strength again. Or it might even be better to do Con and then Con again. I'm going to do Dex and then Wisdom at 20. Weapon training. There's no need for him to use anything other than his gnome hooked hammer. I mean, there could be. There's a whole bunch of other good weapons. Like, there's a whole bunch of quarterstaffs, which are also dual weapons. Although, those might already be included. Yeah, quarterstaffs. But he has other feats invested in his gnome hooked hammer, so there's no reason to take any other weapon training in a weapon group. So we're gonna focus on things that do other things, and I'm gonna do fighter's reflexes to help his reflex saves. I would do fighter's tactics, but he doesn't really have any teamwork feats except for outflank, and the other people already have outflank. I will eventually get another chance to take that at level 20. So if I end up picking up some teamwork feats at 17 and or 19, I can still take fighter's tactics at 20. So I'll take reflexes now. And we improve his double weapon training. Done. Next is Greybor. Slayer. Strength. And then at 20 he'll do intelligence to get some more skill points. And those skill points will just round out his perception. Slayer talents. I looked through this and I'm not really happy with any of them. His save is bad because it's going to be intelligence based. If he gets confused, but it has to be a sneak attack when he's attacking us. So I don't know why it would be a sneak attack. Might be. It'd be best to just not get... Sorry, that's this one. Confounding Blades is... Opponents can't make AOs, which, could be useful. Good for defenses. Only once per day. It's a lot of the same stuff as what Woljif had. This would increase his perception, but we have perception covered fairly well. I'm going to take a combat trick. I'm going to take improved critical with his Dwarven War Axe. And later he'll probably pick up improved critical with the hand axe as well. Done. Did he just get improved quarry? Oh no, he just got quarry. He doesn't get improved quarry until level 19. No, he already had quarry. I don't know why it showed quarry as a new ability. Alright, let's move on to Arueshalae. Dex and Dex again. I mean, Charisma, sure, it's useful. It's not that useful for... Those are pretty good skills. Done. Alright, thank you for joining me. We are headed back to the upper city where we left off next. Sayonara.